Hi, in this video we're going to look at green screening using the Ultra Key effect and also using what we call the garbage tool to do a little bit of cutting. Now in this video you'll notice that the green screen effect itself is pretty good, but it's not great, and I'll show you some of the things that don't work quite well, and they're things that you can think about in the actual filming of your green screen. So the better you film it, the easier this process becomes for you. So over in the project side of the screen here I have my video footage for the green screen. I've just got a picture of a car that I was using for something else and a short video clip from YouTube, and I'll skip between the picture and the video clip in the background just to see how they interact with the green screen. So to start with, I'm going to click and drag my green screen to the video 2 layer. I'm going to click and drag the car and just extend that a bit, and the video. So I'll chuck the video at the end there and just extend the car for the rest of it. Now I'm going to ensure my audio is turned off, which it is, just there, so when I do the scrub head it doesn't get in the way. And you can see the green screen effect, but not the picture of the car or the football, and that's what we are going to play around with. Now just before I get to it, you'll notice that when the arm moves, this student is actually standing quite close to the green screen. You get that shadow effect. You really want to avoid shadows as much as possible. So you don't want to stand too close to the green screen, and that mostly comes down to your lighting. You want to have really good lighting in front of the person and in between the person and the screen. Now we just recorded this in a classroom with no special lighting at all. So if you're able to get some portable lights or lighting in some way, it's a great idea to use that and set that up before you film. Okay, so to actually get the effect, I'm going to go to the search bar here where the effects panel is, and type in Ultra, and under keying my Ultra Key effect pops up. Now to make this work, I simply need to click and drag it onto my green screen video 2 layer. Once I've done that and go to effects control, the Ultra Key appears there. I'm also going to grab my garbage tool as well, and it's also under keying, and it's the 8-point garbage matte that I'm going to use. So I'm going to click and drag that to the video 2 layer as well. Now to start with, we're going to look at the Ultra Key. To firstly just select your green and get rid of as much of the green as possible, I'm going to select the little turkey baster here and click on the green screen. Now you want to try and click the most common shade of green. So I'm going to look for one of the darker areas and click on that. And you'll notice that instantly we get a pretty good effect where most of the green disappears and we see the picture behind us. If I quickly scrub that through to the video, you see the videos behind him as well. Now a great way to tell what's working and what isn't working is to go over to the output setting and change it from composite, which is your finished product pretty much, to alpha channel. Now in the alpha channel, those little white specks or grey specks you can see where we have our little problem areas in the green screen. What you really want is a pure white where your person is, that should be transparent, and you want the rest of it to be as black as possible. Now to get that, this is where our Ultra Key effects come into play. Now you have your matte generation, your matte cleanup, your spill suppression, and color correction. You don't want to play around with these too much. I am actually going to have to play around with these a little bit, which means that my filming isn't great and I've got a bit of work I need to do. The more you play around with these, however, the less realistic the effect does become, so you want to be a little bit careful with it. Now, the transparency feature here, you don't want to make it too high or too low. The higher it becomes, it actually makes our person visible, and the lower it becomes, you can tell it affects the rest of the background. So I'm just going to leave that as it was at 45. I'm actually going to go to the pedestal, and I'm going to scroll that up, and you'll notice that a lot of that white is starting to disappear from the screen. So I'm going to take the pedestal up a little bit more, probably to about 65. You'll notice that the white there and the white there has disappeared. If I go back to my composite, it looks pretty good. I'm going to zoom in though, and you'll notice a little green tinge around the edges of my person. We call this a bit of a spill, and this can be a little bit hard to get rid of. Now what I'm going to start with is I'm going to go to my cleanup, and I'm going to play around with the choke. The choke will actually remove the edges of the person. So you can use the choke a little bit, but you don't want to go too far, because as you can see, when I start going too far, I've taken the choke to 56, a lot of his head's disappeared and a lot of his arms disappeared. So you really don't want to use too much of it. So I'm just going to take the choke to, I'm going to try 10, and it's probably taking a bit too much away, so I'm going to go back to 5. I'm going to set the soften to 5, and I'm going to go to my spill suppression, and I'm going to play around a little bit with these as well. You'll find that a lot of your green screening is a bit of give and take. So you may, set your choke up and you soften up, then play around with another setting and have to go back and fix them up here and there to get the right effect. So I'm going to go to my spill. I'm going to make my spill 60, and I'm going to try again. Now go to 70, and it's just softening those edges a little bit for me. I'm going to desaturate, change that to 30, and I'm going to set my range to 55. Now I'm just going to quickly go back and check my alpha channel, and the edges are a little rough. It's not great, I could play around with a bit more, but I'm just going to test it now to see how it comes out. So I'm going to go back to composite, and I'm going to press play. Now I have turned the audio off, so we're not going to hear any of it at the moment, but I'm really just looking for that, what he looks like walking around the picture when he makes his movements. You will notice when his hand moves, the shadow does appear, and I spoke about that a little bit earlier. I'm going to press stop, and I'm going to skip to the video portion. And with the moving image in the back, we still have pretty good green screen effect in front. You can't really see the green tinges on the edge of the person, and that's really what we want for the effect. Now with your green screen, you can do all sorts of things. So you could have explosions in the background and people reacting to that. You can do all sorts. I've only got a little portable screen in the back here. If you had a larger green screen, you could do a lot more with it than the little portable one that I'm using. The other thing I want to show you was the garbage tool, and that comes into play when you are filming green screens like this, where you need to actually cut sections out, because as you can see, the cameraman has zoomed out and we can now see the background of the classroom. So to actually fix this up, I'm going to go to my 8-point garbage tool, and when I click on that, you'll notice these little icons appear around the image. Now imagine this like cropping an image. What these points simply allow me to do is come in and cut away the background. So you can see the background there has now been cut away, and it's showing the image that it is in the back there. So I'm going to bring them in, and I'm just going to cut away the background. Now obviously this isn't great because he's standing in that position. I just got the cameraman to zoom out so I could show this technique. So it is going to look a little bit unnatural, so I'm going to be cutting off some of the person's body as well. But as long as you can see how this could help you, if you're filming and you need to film outside the green screen, you're able to cut away all those nasty edges and have the green screen effect completely in the background there. Now as you can tell, it's cut out everything, so it doesn't work for the rest of this video clip, but I just wanted to show that effect to you as well. Thanks.